So you land a bunch of clients, which are Fortune 500 names, very high end. How did that feel? All of a sudden, it's your baby, it's your shop, and you're sitting in front of the Canadian Youth Business Federation, or you're sitting in front of Wattpad, or you're sitting in front of one of these groups, and they're looking to you for design.
It was, we almost didn't notice when it started happening. We were so caught up in the work as we were growing, and early on, for the first 2.5 years of the business, we were obsessed with them working kind of startup by startup through the Canadian technology ecosystem, and that's because that's where there was the most understanding of what we could provide and the largest skill gap in terms of saying, well, we're building software and certainly anything we can do to get a competitive edge, this design thing being a potential option, was worth exploring. So over those first couple of years, we worked with startups like Sprouter and Spreed and Guest List and kind of many others. And what we realized as we were building that portfolio of clients, and those startups are growing successfully and continue to work with us, is there's a lot of other things shifting in the Fortune 500 space, or just in the large brand space, where they were starting to poke their eyes down into the startup world and be like, how are these guys doing so well? Some of them are eating our lunch, some of them are...
You're talking about the birth and adoption of the lean methodology,
that's
or A/B
right.
testing, or design
and
thinking.
Exactly, and the impact of user experience into web and mobile development.
Because at the time, your former employer, Microsoft, was also stumbling
in the same
they had
area.
Interesting technology, but users weren't digging what they were selling.
Yeah, it was creating that human relationship between the technology and the actual end use cases and moments in which someone would access that technology. So when we started to get inbound requests from some of these larger organizations, it was just a huge surprise. And kind of before we knew it, we were working with folks like Globe and Mail and Metro News and Toronto Star and Sobeys, Cineplex, Kick.
Is there one engagement from those early days that resonates the most with you, you're most proud of?
Yeah, well, my favorite has to be our first and longest standing client was a company called Sprouter, and we designed and did the front end and branding for the first Sprouter ever, and we worked with Sprouter with their team over the course of 4 years, through every pace of growth and iteration, through their acquisition by Postmedia.
Because they pivoted a number of times.
That's right. We were involved in each pivot, in each piece of scale, in the acquisition, in the post-acquisition role of Sprouter, all the way through to the shutdown. And that was just exciting because it was our first client and we were able to stay close to it and help it grow. It also, its growth cycle and kind of startup curve helped us showcase the work that we did at different stages, through iterations, through first releases, post-acquisitions, and we ultimately became really very close to the team involved in that.
It is a great team too, so
yeah,
you want to
very
help
much.
them succeed.
So that was my favorite, and just because of the length of time involved and how much mutual benefit there was in that relationship.